Hi, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org, and in today's video I'm going to be demonstrating some exercises for those of you that are complaining of low back pain as a result of doing my exercise protocol. And I'm going to explain and help you understand a little bit better why you're having that low back pain as a result of my exercise protocol. I just want to make sure I'm live. I think I'm live. So, okay, so before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I'm sorry I don't have the best connection and that sometimes I get cut off or booted off altogether, or sometimes you see me freeze up. Oh, great. Thank you, Sally. I appreciate that. Sometimes you see me freeze up and you can just hear audio. Sometimes the audio gets choppy. I have all kinds of technical difficulties. So when that happens, what I've learned is if I just wait, it kind of catches up and then it's fine. And sometimes it takes a full minute. And so for those of you that are watching live, it's just kind of twiddle your thumbs and wait for it to resume. For those of you that are watching on the replay, it kind of skips over that dead time. So I apologize for that, but I really don't know. My upload speed is my upload speed. So I get interference. So today's question comes from multiple people actually, and it's low back pain as a result of my exercise protocol. So first of all, the foundation of my exercise protocol is what? It's relaxing the abdominal muscles, right? And it's by this relaxation of the abdominal muscles and learning how to breathe into the belly and expand the belly, we start to get more of that downward movement of the stomach coming down and out of the herniated position, or down and out of the diaphragm. And so this foundational principle of relaxing the abs and expanding the abs can put additional strain on the low back, particularly for somebody with a weak low back, or somebody who's prone to back issues, or for somebody who maybe already is front heavy. So if you have a big belly or a big chest, all of these things can put additional strain on the back, particularly the low back. And so I'm just going to draw a picture here of a back. So with the back, this being the low back or the arch of the back, so if this was the front, this is a female, so that would be a breast, and that would be a belly, and this would be the low. That's a pointy belly. This would be the arch of the low back. And so the heavier we are on the front, the more weight that the back carries, right? So when we do these exercises and the belly expands and we relax the belly and it hangs down, which is what we want to do, that can pull on all that musculature and strain at the low back and cause some low back pain. Not with everybody, but with certain individuals, they complain of low back pain. I'm laughing at my drawing. So what I'm going to show you today, I'm just going to show you a few basic exercises, and of course there's a lot of exercises you can do to both stretch and strengthen your back, but what I'm going to show you is a little bit more appropriate to people with hiatal hernia, because a lot of the low back exercises especially will push the stomach against the diaphragm, will cause the diaphragm to come down. Like for example, a great exercise for the low back is to lay down on the floor and draw your knees into your chest. And so what this does is pushes your stomach against your diaphragm and your diaphragm into your stomach, which is the opposite of what we want if you're trying to reverse your hiatal hernia. So I'm just going to show you a couple of quick exercises. My background is I have a BS in exercise physiology. I'm a certified fitness instructor with 15 years experience specializing in older adults, and I am the founder and teacher of Quasi Yoga. So that's a little bit about my background in terms of exercise. So I'm just going to show you a couple of quick exercises that you can try, and you can do these along with me if you're reversing your hiatal hernia naturally and you notice that you're having some low back straining or pain. Now, obviously, I don't know you. There could be other issues, injuries or, issues that I don't know about. These are specific to people who are having low back pain or even middle back pain as a result of doing my exercise protocol. All right, so let's start out going back to that drawing of the arched back. Before I show you an exercise, I just want to tell you, probably one of the best things you can do to relieve low back pain, if you're able to do this, and I know not everyone is to lie down flat on your back on a hard surface. So it could be on the grass, it could be on your hardwood floor, on your carpet, not on a sofa or a bed, on a hard surface, and completely relax. Really focus on the low back and relax that low back, because when you do so, this is just a really simple way to take the strain off of the back. So again, here we have my drawings. So if you were laying down flat on your back, this little bump would I'll just draw the whole person. I'll try to draw the whole person. Okay. So if you're laying down flat on your back, this little arch here would represent your low back, that arch in your back that comes up and doesn't touch the floor. So if you lay down flat on your back on a hard surface and really focus on relaxing your back, especially your low back, the gravity over time as you lay there and you breathe and you relax and you just try to let everything go will allow this back to sink down into the floor and take some of the strain off of that low back. So that's something to try, and a lot of people find that gives a lot of relief to low back pain when you're experiencing strain from a hard day's work or from doing something that particularly puts a lot of strain on it, such as my exercise protocol. So you can try that. But beyond that, if you don't want to get on the floor, I'm going to show you, first of all, an exercise that's really simple. You can do it standing or seated. I'm going to show it to you. I'll show both. I'm going to stand up. And so what we're trying to accomplish with this first exercise is flexion. So with the exercise protocol, relaxing the abs, so letting the abs hang out, it puts strain on the low back, it causes this arch. And what you want is to create a roundedness here that's not going this way, but that's going that way. So we want to create that roundedness this way instead of this way to alleviate that pain. And so one thing you can do is you can place your hands on your legs and lean forward and really relax your belly. And a lot of you have heard of this exercise referred to as cat-cow, and that's not exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to do it a little bit different. So what you want to do is really focus on relaxing your belly in this position, relaxing your back, okay? And then once you maybe breathe in, breathe out, really focus on the relaxation part of it. Then what you want to do is imagine there's a rope tied to the middle of your back, like there's a hook on the middle of your back. And you're going to allow that rope to pull your back up and then come into standing position. So I'll show it from the side and then we'll go through it a couple times. So you just lean forward, place your hands on your thighs, and relax your belly. Just let that hang out, relax the back, breathe in, breathe out. Really get into a state of relaxation before you try this. And then with that rope tied to the middle of your back, you allow it to pull you up and round your back. See how my back went from straight or arch to round in the low back, and then pull up and then circle the shoulders back, okay? So with a traditional cat-cow, the instruction would be to, in that position, to pull in your abdominal muscles and use your abs to push and round that back or decompress the spine or create that curvature that we want. And that's what we don't want to do with this exercise. So instead of pulling in the abs to create that curvature, you're going to relax and really focus on just allowing the back to use its own musculature to round instead of pulling in the abs to create that curvature. I hope that makes sense. So we'll just go through that a couple of times. Leaning forward on the legs, relax the belly, relax the low back, breathe in, breathe out, relax. Maybe breathe in and out a couple of times. Really focus on the belly and letting the belly relax. and then begin to begin to round the back, starting from the low back. Imagine that rope just pulling your back and rounding it and pulling you up, and circle the shoulders back. Okay, and we'll do that one more time from the side. So hands on the thighs, relax the belly, relax the low back, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and begin to, with the abs relaxed, begin to create that rounding in the low back, curved back, and come up and circle the shoulders back. You can go through that several times to begin to get a little bit of loosening and stretching in the low back to kind of overcome the strain that's occurred there. So another way you can do this seated, this is just a bamboo pole from my Quasi Yoga class. And I'm going to show a demonstration of me. You can use like a broomstick, you could use, you know, an extender for a painting extender, but you want to use long arms and anchor your pole and just lean forward and relax your belly. And you can just kind of hang out in this position. You want to have your legs kind of open, so that, again, you're not creating that pressure of pushing your belly up. You really want to allow the belly to expand. You want to be able to breathe fully into the belly. And you can just hang out here in this position. You can even hang out in this position. Just releasing the low back, releasing the belly, and allowing that to, allowing those muscles of the low back to kind of get a break and to just kind of hang and stretch a little bit. This is a really comfortable position. You can try reaching side to side as well, or even a circular motion. So Quasi Yoga is a class that I developed and teach. I am going to create an online course for that, and it's going to be great, but it's like maybe a year out at this time, because right now I'm still adapting recipes for my cookbook. So that's what's taking up the majority of my time. But this course is going to be an exercise course that incorporates all of the hiatal hernia reversal exercises with the Quasi Yoga pole for stretching and some strength exercise as well. So you can stay tuned for that in next year. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to mention was when it comes to your back moves three primary ways. So there's extension and flexion, forward and back, which we just went over, and then it also rotates, and then it extends, you know, side to side, so leaning side to side. And so when we're trying to stretch our back and alleviate low back pain, it's important to kind of go through all of those movements in order to relieve any tension that's been created there. So I'll just go over a couple more quick exercises just to be more comprehensive when it comes to stretching your back. So we went over forward bend. We don't need to go over the back bend, because that's the back bend is the reason you're having low back pain from my exercise protocol anyway, is because my exercises create that arch in the back by relaxing the abdominal muscles and creating additional weight on the low back. So we don't necessarily want to do the extension. We want to do the flexion, which is the bending forward, which is what we just did. So let's go over rotation next. So that's a really easy one. Again, seated or standing. If you're in a chair, you can just twist and grab the back of your chair and look over your shoulder and hold that. And relax the back, relax the belly, and breathe, and do both sides. Of course, you can do this standing as well. You can give yourself a hug and turn and look over the shoulder. And do that on both sides. We'll just go through that really quick if you're doing it with me. Good. And then just simple twists too, where you just let your arms kind of flow and you just turn side to side. But it's really important that you really focus on relaxing the low back as you're doing these exercises. Okay? So that's rotation. And then side flexion, which is just, you know, side bends, something really simple like this. So you can either, you know, reach back in your neck and lift your elbow. That's going to stretch along the side and just kind of lean to the side. That would be a really simple example, and hold. And again, focus on that low back. Really try to relax it. Don't let your abs tighten up. Breathing into the belly. If you can't breathe into the belly, that's okay. Just try. And then you want to do that both ways. And then a little bit more advanced would be reaching up Relax that opposite arm and leaning to the side. Holding, relaxing. Really look for something when you're doing these exercises. Really look for something, look for a tight muscle anywhere in your body and just try to let that go. Sink into the position, just relax into it. Nothing forced. None of this should be forced. It should be the focus being on relaxation. So you do that a few times, and then just giving yourself a hug, relaxing the belly, bending your knees or softening the knees, and just kind of coming into a slouch position where you release the head, release the shoulders, and most especially release the torso, so the belly and the back. And honestly, out of everything I just did, I felt that the most. I felt that felt the best. That felt really good. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of other things that you can do. Play around if you're gonna use, you know, a broomstick or a pole. You can play around with that. You can, you know, use it as a leverage aid to lean side to side, and so forth. Okay. So for those of you that are experiencing low back pain with my protocol, I hope that helps. Make sure you leave your questions below in this feed regarding this topic, and I will get back to them within 24 to 48 hours. And that's it. All right, we made it through a whole video without interruption. Yay. All right, thank you so much for watching.